Hello and welcome. It is Wednesday, the 4th of May. I am Flat Cap Callum, and this is video round 2 for today. I've already put out my horse racing video. Today, the golf bet is separate, and the only reason for that is I hadn't quite finished finalising it. I was having a lot of back and forth, so I've done it separately. So I'm not planning to do a separate golf video. Usually, it is on regularly on a Wednesday video. We'll do the golf bets for the weekend. Doing it separately does give me an opportunity to speak to those of you that are just following the golf bets, because I know majority of people are following the horses. Some will follow the golf and some will be following both. So if you are following the golf and you watch this video, it'd be great to get some feedback from you, because I'm tinkering around with the types of bets I'm doing on the channel. Historically, what I've tended to do is mainly single bets, and then sometimes we'll do a little bit of a dreamy double, tricksy, or an occasional lucky 15 if there's multiple tournaments. What I'm going to definitely start doing is if I found one that's viable, is do a regular lucky 15 on the golf in terms of top players from different areas of the world. So I've done a couple already, and I'm planning to use that and do that as a regular thing for the channel selections. One debate I've got, which would be great to get some views on: do people still want singles or not? Because the challenge with golf is, if you're trying to go for value in the market, you are going for bigger prices, and therefore the majority of weeks, by a mile, much more than horses, you are going to lose. And it's every now and again when you catch it just right, and you might get a decent price in there. So you do have to wait a long time. And at the moment on the channel, the golf bets are on a losing run. So we had a couple of nice weeks in the first few weeks of the channel, and then we've got bits back, but we haven't made profit on golf for quite a while. So I'm looking at trying to slightly lower the risk, but it does lower the value. So when you start doing more inside markets, you lose some value that you get in the main market, but it does allow you to do it in multiples. So it's a bit like horses, and that's, I guess, where I'm thinking I'm going to go with it, is do the odd single bet, do a lucky 15, and then you'll see today I've got some cross doubles across tournaments around players finishing in the top 20, and I'd rather do that. The other challenge I've got with the golf is it can be very bookmaker specific. So for instance, this week in the Mitsubishi Electric Classic, which is the Champions Tour event, you can get top 10 on Sky Bet, but not really anyone else is doing it. So I've got one bet, which is probably going to be a Sky Bet only for today. But it would be really great if you could do those with other bookmakers and put them into tricksy bets. And do players from each tournament. So I'd like to be able to do that on the channel, but I don't really like putting out bets that are just applicable to one bookmaker. And the other thing that is frustrating with Sky Bet is, on some bookmakers you can do multiple bets. So you might look players finish in the top 20 or top 40, and you could pick 4 in the same tournament. Sky Bet don't allow you to pick multiples, so I want to keep it steady for the channel and easy for the statistics to put it through Sky Bet. I don't want to keep changing bookmakers, but Sky Bet basically aren't necessarily the best bookmaker for golf. They are for horses, but not for golf. Hopefully that little monologue makes a bit of sense. So I'm keen to get some views in the comments around what people like or don't like, or would like more of or less of with the golf bets, and I can see how I factor it in. So today I've got it broken into 3 things. Singles is part 1, cross doubles part 2, and then the lucky 15 is part 3. So it's a £15 stake on the golf this week. Here are the single bets, and these are some big prices this week. So we've got the Wells Fargo Championship, so that's the over in the US. And we've got 3 there. So we've got Sung Hoon Kang, or Sung Kang, as he's sometimes written, 125 to 1. Chesson Hadley, 250 to 1. And David Lingmerth, 300 to 1. They are all 25p each way. We've then got British Masters, Andy Sullivan, 100 to 1. Renato Paratori, 250 to 1. And Jack Singh Brar, 400 to 1. So that's 50p each way. It's the only one different. Andy Sullivan, 50p each way. Andy Sullivan. The other two, 25p each way. And in the Mitsubishi Electric Classic, we've got Colin Montgomery, 125s. Billy Andrade, 80s. Both 25p each way. And then the Sky Bet only. If you find it, if you've got another bookmaker, then put it on. Brilliant. I found one, but the odds were half, and I just think this is worth a go. So the Sky Bet only bet is top 10. David Frost 100 to 1, 50p win. I just think it's worth doing. It's a great bet that to try and put into multiples. So if you are a Sky Bet customer, it's worth having a look. Basically, the guy's out of form, but he's got a really good record at the course. And 100 to 1 to finish in the top 10 is a ridiculous price. He's 1,000 to 1 for the whole tournament, but 100 to 1 top 10 when I think there's about 95 of them taking part in there. That's a decent bet. So in all likelihood, he will finish well down the field, but I think it's worth a go given his form on that course. So that is the single bets for the golf. Hopefully they make sense, but yeah, as I said, big prices there. Cross doubles. This is where I've kind of come to. Most bookmakers look like these bets will work. I know there's sometimes they don't like crossing over, but I've looked at Sky and Paddy, Betfair, Bet365, and a flag on this one. This is definitely better not putting it on with Sky. So if you've got other accounts, I think on balance, I think Paddy Betfair, because they normally have the same odds, is probably the best place. So an example would be this Renato Paratori. I think it's 12s still with them 8s here. So this is not the best value place to put it on with Sky. But we've got in the Wells Fargo, these are all players top 20. David Lingmuth and Chesson Hadley in the top 20. Rolling on to, in the British Masters, Andy Sullivan, Eddie Pepperell, Renato Paratori, Jack Singh Abrar. So that's 8 cross 50p win doubles. So literally you'd go into the Wells Fargo, look at the top 20 and select those two into your bet slip, and then go into British Masters, put those, and it should allow you to do 8 cross 50p win doubles. It's a £4 bet. So, but yeah, as I said, the value is better with other bookmakers, really, really is. So if you've got more than one account, then don't put this on with Sky Bet. So that's top 20. And then the Lucky 15, again, I think it seems to be working with most bookmakers. I've had a little play around. This is in its cross tournament, the Lucky 15 today. So we've got 3 in the Wells Fargo, 1 in the British Masters. And these are all paying first 3. So in the Wells Fargo, top Asian, Sung Kang, 13 to 2. And then something that's quite important, we get this right, top continental European. So not top European, top continental European. So that basically is no British and Irish golfers in there. So it's called top continental European. David Lingmuth, 18 to 1. Then top GB in Ireland. Again, not top English, top GB in Ireland. Aaron Rye, 11 to 1. And then in the British Masters, top South African. We've stuck with him for 2 weeks. We're going to go third week for Justin Walters. So top South African, Justin Walters, 14 to 1. And it's a 20p each way Lucky 15. Hopefully that makes sense. So that all should add up to 15. As I said, I would love to get some feedback about what are these bets you like, what you don't bet. I know some of you will say, well, which one is the most profitable? And it depends. I make a little bit of money on some of these types of bets. Ideally, what I'm looking at is that Lucky 15 is a fixture. Cross doubles, we'll see how they go on the channel this week. Just because it might go badly this week doesn't mean I'm going to bin it off the week after. But I'm particularly interested again on your views on single bets, whether you like them or not, but also on some of the stuff that is more bookmaker specific, what people would want. So I'm kind of want to not necessarily go down a route that says if you bet 365, do this bet. If you're Betfair, do this bet, and go through all the bookmakers, because I'm looking for value. But the day when one of those bets comes in that works for one bookmaker, and then you could have put the same bet on with the other bookmaker, but the price wasn't as good, then we get into debates about was it the right thing to do or not. I'm looking at it from value. Hopefully all that makes sense. Let me know what you think. Next week, golf bets will be back in the normal Wednesday video. But fingers crossed we'll get on some racing soon, because racing, we haven't had any horses run today, so we'll see how that goes. Thanks for your time. I will see you in the morning for Thursday racing. Thanks very much. Cheerio.